It's a shame whenever I have to say no to that kind of thing because God damn it, I want the fucking money. I don't know why it's so hard to just give me money but not be like a shady bitch. Hi, before we get into this video, I am popping in real quick to tell you that this video was filmed a really long time ago and I never got around to editing it until right now. I filmed this all the way back in May, so it's been a few months. My answers for some of these questions have changed or evolved. There's just been recent developments that have made me contemplate a little bit deeper about certain parts of the community. I will put that together in a separate video following this one, but I just wanted to put an asterisk to some of my answers here. So we're gonna keep this video that I filmed a long time ago as is. I will pop in a little bit towards the end to clarify a few things. All right, on to the video. It has been a while since I've done a booktube tag, but for this particular one, I've been tagged 3 times by 3 different people. You know when you call Bloody Mary 3 times and then she finally appears to kill you? That's basically how I work with tags. You have to tag me multiple times for me to finally get to that shit. The first question is, what's something nobody told you about Booktube before you started your channel? Nobody in my real life knows what Booktube is because nobody is a fucking loser. I'm the only nerd among my social circle that actually reads books. I'm gonna reframe this question to be more about what's something that you didn't expect about Booktube. There's lots of surprising things about it, like the fan culture that comes along with it and the level of no chill that some people have on here. But I think the most surprising aspect is actually that Booktube is pretty much a formidable source of income. I've always felt like YouTube is not a good source of income in the sense where it's just not stable enough for that. Like, I would never want to be a full-time YouTuber because there's just too much at stake with that. Booktube is an even smaller niche. Even fewer people are watching your videos because most people are illiterate and don't read books. However, what I've come to find is that you can actually make money off of this shit. I wouldn't say enough to be a long-lasting full-time job, but for me, I kind of feel like this is a good source of passive income. I'm probably making the same amount as like a part-time McDonald's employee, but to me, I feel like it's still good money because I'm basically being paid to sit on the couch and talk to the camera instead of flipping burgers and washing a bathroom floor. I did not start a Booktube channel with the intention of making money. I really just started it because I was bored and I was kind of in a bad place. Well, to be fair, I think if you're a YouTuber, you're probably mentally unstable anyway. I pretty much started it for the escapism as a distraction from my real life. Now I'm finding that a lot of the stuff that I've been doing recently, like with sponsorships and trying to make regular videos once a week, kind of feels like a freelance job now, but in a good way. And I never thought that could be possible because for some reason, what I equate to doing something that I like and making money, like I've never thought that those two would be the same thing. But it is now, which is really cool. Sponsorships is where you make the fucking money because for some reason they think that influencers are worth shit. I don't know, it's just weird. Like you're just sitting on the couch and talking about books and now it's being capitalized somehow. But I'm not complaining because I'm gonna get my coin anyway. It just boggles my mind that this is a thing and that influencers are a thing. When I sign a contract for a sponsorship, usually they'll have the line where you sign your signature. It usually says something like influencer and then your channel name. And I'm just like, ugh. But that's the truth. I mean, people make money off of like such arbitrary shit. I don't know. I'm just trying to work with the system and use this additional money to be strategic with what I want to spend my life doing. You can really formulate a life centered around things that you genuinely enjoy and gravitate towards that. And I think that the more that you pursue things that you enjoy, the more your life will kind of fall into place for that. This just got really philosophical. So we're just gonna move on before it gets too cheesy. The second question is, what is your opinion on typical booktube videos like wrap-ups, TBRs, hauls, etc.? I don't give a shit either way. I'm assuming that this question implies that these videos are inferior quality. I don't think that just because you see a lot of quantity of something doesn't mean that it's less valuable. I think a lot of people have this attitude where if you make a different video from typical booktubers, or if your personality is different than other booktubers, then you are somehow superior to them because you are quote unquote unique. But I don't really think that's true. I think that is a dangerous attitude to uphold because it's kind of like the booktube version of saying, I'm not like other girls. So yeah, like just make whatever videos you want to make. If anything, I think that those types of videos are a good starting point for you because they're fairly straightforward to make. And when you're starting out on booktube, they're kind of good prompts to follow along to. And they're basically the backbone of booktube. Me personally, the only typical video that I do from that list is wrap-ups. I like being able to track the books that I've been reading on a monthly basis. And I think if I weren't doing that, you all would probably think that the only books that I read are YA. But in actuality, I do read a lot of nonfiction books and other types of genres that would not be covered otherwise. I personally don't really care for TBRs or hauls or bookshelf tours. That's probably because I don't really care about the consumerism aspect of booktube. I more so care about what you think about the book or some kind of entertainment aspect of booktube, but I don't care about like how many books you have or how many books that you bought for the month. A lot of people are interested in that though, and that's totally fine. Again, I don't give a shit either way. The third question is, what is an assumption you had about booktube before you joined? Was it proven to be correct or not? When I first joined booktube, I looked up a lot of videos that were kind of introductory videos to introduce you to how to start a booktube channel and what to expect from booktube. The common linking point that many booktubers said were the community aspect, where when you join booktube, you're making connections with these people. My assumption from this was that it was a load of bullshit because I felt like it was a very wishy-washy thing to say, to assume that you would make all these connections from just having videos about books online. But I was actually proven wrong. There have been so many people that I wouldn't have met otherwise or become friends with otherwise if it weren't for the power of the internet. What gets even crazier is that I've been able to meet some of them in real life too. When I go to a new city or even a new country, I'm able to meet other booktubers or meet people within the book community who I never would have met if I hadn't made a booktube channel and if they hadn't watched my videos, or vice versa. Even though it does sound like bullshit, like people genuinely care about your well-being and are super supportive of you. Even though book Twitter can be like a cesspool of toxic cancel culture and just bullshit in general, I've also seen a lot of people be very supportive of one another. And like if someone is going through something very emotionally devastating, I've seen people reach out to them. People actually care about that shit. And it's nice to see. And now we're gonna move on because I feel like this is getting too cheesy. Number 4 is, what is something you've done that has actually helped you grow your audience? I think my channel started increasing in subs when I posted that video about booktube consumerism. There were just a lot of people that saw it and resonated with it for whatever reason, but the truth is I only made that video because Jackie from Leisure Reads had sent me the 6 of Crows duology, and I wanted to make a video about it, but I knew that if I just made a video showing the 2 books that I got, it would be like 5 seconds long. I just decided to make the video a little bit longer by explaining why I only owned 4 books. I did not expect it to really blow up, but apparently booktube gets shook whenever people spend their money reasonably. And it kind of started this whole discussion about consumerism and how people spend money on books and all this other discourse that I didn't really expect. I just wanted to talk about 6 of Crows. The fact that people are resonating with such a simple thing of a person not owning that many books, which by the way, is the normal thing. It shouldn't be an outlier to see someone exclusively read library books. But I think the fact that people see it as an outlier and people see it as some fascinating thing that they have to click on the video shows that booktube has been, for a long time, been a monolithic kind of platform where you see a lot of the same kind of reading habits. People are wanting to see more diversity and variety. If you can provide something different, people will resonate with that and people will flock to that. I don't even want to say different because I don't want to make it seem like you shouldn't be like other booktubers. Maybe just really tapping into what makes you unique. Like everyone is unique, right? So you kind of have to hone in on those little things. And my uniqueness comes from, looking like a Skrillex 12-year-old sitting in front of a couch. Evidently. Next question is, what is a common mistake you see new booktubers making? I have two answers for this. The first answer would be trying to downgrade other booktubers for the sake of elevating yourself by how unique they are, but also insulting other people by saying that because they are doing something else, that they are inferior to them, if that makes any sense. Like when that Booktube newbie guy posted his newbie tag saying that Booktube was primarily a bunch of girls in their 20s, caked with makeup, just talking about YA books all the time. He was trying to prove that he could provide something different because he is an older male reader in a platform where you don't really see that type of person on there. You mostly just see, dumb 20-year-olds like me. The thing is, he could have easily shown all of that just simply by talking about books on his platform. He did not need to insult other booktubers in order to try to elevate himself or make himself seem superior. It honestly just makes you look like a dick. And I don't think this is like a Booktube specific thing. I think that this is just society in general. You can just simply exist and let other people exist without this need for comparison. But maybe that's just me, I don't know. And the second mistake that I've seen is when you are starting out, you're really excited about growing your channel and collaborating with other people, that it's easy to say yes to anything that comes along your way, whether that's people asking to collaborate with you on a video or doing a live show with someone. It's easy to say yes to it because you just want to be a friendly person or you're excited to be more involved in the community. But you shouldn't necessarily say yes to everything if the other person is not genuine. The most notable example that I can bring from this is a while back, there was some controversy within the small booktube community. There was a small booktuber who revealed herself to be homophobic. She did this because she had tweeted something that was very homophobic and hateful towards the LGBT community. She deleted the tweet, so I don't have the original video, but her original tweet had said, "I'm sharing this because I don't want blood on my hands. Not giving the warning would be the same as murder, and I love you all too much. You can hate me, I've accepted that. I pray God shows this to those who will receive it. I have been guilty too." I retweeted the same comment as hers, but I just replaced it with a picture of Kermit the Frog. But in her original video, it was some Bible verse about how people were gonna go to hell for just liking who they like. I guess people were upset by it because this was a booktuber that has done a lot of collabs with tons of other small booktubers in the community. Like, she has done tons of live shows with them, she's done read-alongs with them, she's done collaboration videos with them. A lot of them identified as part of the LGBT community, and they considered her to be a friend. To see that she would be posting such hateful words and such triggering words too, because a lot of people in the LGBT community had really hard memories and experiences with churches that have alienated them. So to see her do that is a huge slap in the face, and it's extremely hurtful to those people. To me, when that happened, I wasn't surprised, because this was a booktuber who constantly reached out to me when my channel started growing. She was constantly messaging me to ask me to join her live shows or her read-alongs or do a collaboration video with her. Every single message that she has sent out to me was always along the lines of trying to collaborate with me or trying to get something from me. And that was the whole basis of our interactions. It was never any kind of conversation or genuine interactions. It was just her trying to get clout. It was very obvious to me that she ain't shit. And on top of that, she even tried to kind of bribe me a little bit by saying that I won a giveaway and that she would give me a free book. I have said no to all of those things. I was always super polite about it. I've always been like, hey, that sounds like a cool idea, but I don't think that I would be suitable for it. It's so obvious when someone is just trying to use you for clout. And that's basically what she was doing. She was friends with all of these LGBT booktubers despite her very hateful beliefs, and she used them to try to grow her channel. That's one extreme example. Beyond that, I've had a few other people who have tried to make me promote their channel or promote something that they've done. I have said no to those people, and I've explained why very reasonably, because I don't want to set up the precedent of being the type of person who just says yes to everything. Because if you are the type of person who says yes to everything, then people are always going to constantly demand something of you, demand your time, demand your energy in order to further whatever it is they're trying to do. I like collaborating with other booktubers, but I'll do that on my own accord. But if you don't want to do something, just don't do it. Don't worry about looking like a bitch. Don't worry about it being awkward. You don't owe anybody your time or your energy. Just do it if you genuinely want to do it. But if something doesn't feel right, or if you're not actually friends with this person, then you have no reason to oblige to them and try to be a people pleaser. The sixth question is, what are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? I always felt very nonchalant about sponsorships, where I didn't really care if a video was sponsored or not. But now that I've become a little bit integrated into the community and have seen a little bit of the controversies with it, and have done and will do a couple of sponsorships myself, I have a bit more of like a complex opinion. It's all right for you to get your coin, because in Booktube in particular, like, you're really just a fucking nerd who's just filming in their bedroom, and if you can get paid money to do that, like, who wouldn't want that? But on the other hand, some of the criticisms about sponsorships, in the sense where it blurs the line between whether you're actually reviewing a book versus just doing marketing for a book, is valid. I think that there have been some instances where sponsorships and partnerships have been problematic in the sense where it excludes certain demographics of people, or it misleads you into thinking a book is awesome when it's not. One example of this is the Carve the Mark controversy that happened. I was not a reader when this happened, but I had read a little bit about what had occurred. The marketing team for that book had sponsored a few big booktubers in the community, and they had high praises for that book. And the controversy that happened was that they were praising a book that, I guess, had like racist tones to them or some shit like that. I haven't read the book, so I don't know for sure, but that was like a common criticism that the book had that had been overlooked when these booktubers partnered with the marketing team to support the book. And then some other examples were when the Hate U Give movie came out, there were some booktubers that got to be extras on the set. The criticism for that was that the booktubers that had been picked, most of them were not Black. It was just prioritized for who the big booktubers were, rather than the demographic that the stories were supposed to be about. And then a similar example is when Michelle Obama had released her book, Becoming. The booktubers that were chosen to interview her were not Black, even though her book is about such a prominent Black woman's story. All of that, I feel like, is a legit criticism for how sponsorships and partnerships have worked in the booktube community. But my personal opinion for this is, don't hate the player, hate the game. It is misplaced to blame individual booktubers for being part of a system that's already broken. The fault is really on the publishing industry for being whitewashed in the first place and prioritizing these numbers over the demographics that these stories are supposed to represent. For Carve the Mark, if you are basically partnering with white booktubers, obviously they're not going to catch the racist implications of the story. I don't think that booktubers that get to partner with books and talk about books are necessarily lying about liking a book. I think that the ones that you do see partner with those types of books are people that genuinely just happen to like a lot of books. There are lots of readers that are very easy to please. That's actually something that I wish I could do. Like, I wish I could like a book very easily without being such a bitch about it. It's awesome that not only do they get to like a book avidly, they also get paid to like a book as well. So I think that when these booktubers were praising Carve the Mark, it came from a genuine place. But it came from a place where they were not able to see the racist implications because of their own experiences. It wasn't trying to get money out of it. It doesn't make sense. In this political climate right now, promoting a racist book would hurt you more in the long run. I do think that it just came from an ignorant place, but it's not necessarily their fault. It's more so on the publishers who should have reached out to a diverse variety of readers, not just the big white booktubers, but a whole spectrum of people who actually would have called out on that bullshit. But maybe that was also the point. Maybe they didn't want people to call them out on their bullshit, so it's easier to just go with white booktubers instead. But regardless, I don't think it's the booktuber's fault. Same thing for The Hate You Give and the Becoming Michelle Obama series. It should have been the marketing team's responsibility to be more inclusive of booktubers of color, especially if their stories are about people of color. And I don't think it was really the fault of the white booktubers that got chosen, because they didn't really take any opportunities. If they had said no, honestly, the opportunity would have been given to some other white person instead. That's just really how it works. So those were just a few extreme examples I've listed for how sponsorships can be problematic. But I do think in general, perhaps the common critique is that when you do sponsorships, it makes the line kind of blurry between whether you're just an advertisement or whether you're a genuine reader. But for me, I still feel pretty nonchalant when I join Booktube. I'm really just doing it for fun. I don't consider myself to be like a professional reviewer. I'm literally just making dumb videos for fun. And if I happen to get paid to do so, all the more better for it. I assume that's kind of the logic for most people on this platform. I think that if you are a viewer who is watching a video and you're frustrated that there are booktubers that are just sponsoring videos and not actually reading, the nice thing about the platform is that there are so many other YouTubers out there who are not doing sponsorships. And there's so many YouTubers who aren't talking about the same YA books or the same genres or whatever. You have the luxury of choice. You pay a monthly subscription to Netflix so that you don't get any ads when you watch films. But on YouTube, it's different because you don't have to pay any money at all, and you have way more choice for what kind of videos you want to watch. So I don't really see it as a problem because there are so many alternate choices anyway. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and forcing you to watch these people. You're just torturing yourself by making yourself watch them. Ultimately, I don't really see it much of an issue now because you have the freedom of choice with the type of content that you want to consume. While we're on the topic of sponsorships, I want to take this opportunity to talk about the sponsorships that I have done. As my channel is starting to grow, I have gotten a lot of inquiries about sponsorships or reviewing books or some kind of partnership. What you might not know is that I've rejected probably 90% of the things that have crossed my way. Not because I have like morals or whatever, it's more so the fact that I've narrowed down a few things that I would want for a sponsorship to be beneficial to me. The first rule is that I will only accept sponsorships or partnerships that give me money. That's it. Straight up, all I care about is the money. I don't care about getting free gifts. I don't care about getting free books. I am a minimalist, so I don't care about having material things. What I do care about is the fucking coin. So if you don't got money, don't fucking talk to me. That being said, there are a couple of sponsorships that do require them to send me something in order for me to advertise the product. Like for example, with Arusha, I had to be given the books in order for me to take a proper Instagram photo of it. Same thing for USA Glasses and Ana Luisa Jewelry. I accept them really for the money. Material things that I receive from them, I will try to repurpose it in a way that will help other people instead who value material things more than I do. So for example, with the Arusha books, I use them for a giveaway for the Asian Readathon so that another person could actually appreciate those books instead. And I actually used the sponsorship money that I got to make it international shipping. So it was kind of like a win-win for everyone. For the Ana Luisa Jewelry sponsorship, I decided to pick the jewelry that would be more fitting for my friend instead, so that when I visit her in July, I can give her the necklace and the earrings and the ring that are all her size and her style. So that was a way for me to not only get money to just make a simple video, but to be able to afford a gift for my friend as well. My second rule is that I do not accept any books for review. I will accept a book to sponsor and just talk about, but I don't want to have it be required that I read it and review it. Maybe I will change my mind in the future, but for now, I just don't feel comfortable doing that because I just don't think that it benefits anybody. The whole point of people trying to get you to review their book is so that you can talk about it positively. But as you know, I'm a very critical reader. And even if I do like what I read, I'll still talk critically about it. I just wouldn't be the right kind of person to review your book if you're trying to promote it. Because of that, I have turned down a few offers from Macmillan and Disney Book Group because I just wasn't interested in receiving those books to review. Even those books were like, special editions or had really pretty covers or whatever. I don't care about those things. I just want to save my time and I want to save their time. Most of the offers that I do get are from independent publishers and self-published authors. I will always say no to those. It's different if it's like a traditionally published book that already has a lot of ratings and reviews and fans. It's a whole nother thing if I'm rating and reviewing a book that doesn't have that many readers. So for me to criticize that type of book, it's more damaging to them versus if I criticize a popular book instead. So I just don't fuck with any of that. And again, I'm only here for the money, okay? And the third rule that I have, which I can't believe has to be a fucking rule in the first place, is that whatever sponsorship I accept, the sponsor has to not be sketchy. I will not accept a sponsorship that is trying to con the viewers. One example is a sponsorship offer from a luxury watch company. I wouldn't have minded taking the sponsorship because they were gonna pay me money. Even though it wasn't related to books, I probably would have been able to make it fit somehow. Part of the sponsorship was opening it to be a giveaway to viewers. So I thought that it might be a good thing where I would get paid money and then someone gets a free watch. That sounded like a win-win to me. However, when I looked more into them, I saw that there was a video where someone was complaining that they tried to enter the giveaway and they were conned by ending up having to pay for the watch anyway because of some sketchy terms and conditions or whatever. So that was only one video that I saw, but to me, it wasn't worth it if a subscriber of mine ended up in that kind of situation. So I said no to them. And another example is there was a sponsorship that had previously worked with a lot of big YouTubers like Shane Dawson. This was a sponsorship that focuses on mental health services. When they reached out to me, I thought that this was a great opportunity because mental health is something that I care about and they have worked with big YouTubers, which means that I want to get paid as much as Shane Dawson gets paid. But when I looked more into it, I saw that the services that they offered were pretty sketchy. A lot of people had complained that these online counselors were not reliable. And a lot of people were saying that this was a scam and trying to exploit people's mental health problems in order to get money. It's a shame whenever I have to say no to that kind of thing because God damn it, I want the fucking money. I don't know why it's so hard to just give me money but not be like a shady bitch. But here we are. Unfortunately, when I do get offered sponsorships, I do have to do a little bit of research to make sure that the company is like legit and make sure that they're not trying to scam people, because I wouldn't feel comfortable accepting money if it came at the expense of ripping off other people who are watching this. I much prefer the sponsorships where I do get money, but it actually helps other people instead, like with the Skillshare free classes or being able to give away books or nice gifts to viewers. The next time you see a sponsorship, basically just know that I accepted it because it adhered to the 3 things that I was looking for. And the 7th question is, do you think Booktube is dying? Unlike the lighting in this video right now, it is not dying. I think that if anything, Booktube is growing. I feel like we have seen it kind of expanding to more mainstream platforms. Like there was a Huffington Post article about it that I actually got to be a part of. And I hope that it continues to expand so that my wallet can continue to expand. All right, this is how you know that the video is dated, because I talked about the Huffington Post article as if it happened recently. There is actually a newer article that I got to be a part of by the Washington Post. They recently wrote an article that spotlighted 3 book influencers. 2 of them were bookstagrammers and 1 of them was a booktuber, and that booktuber was your girl right here. I have no idea why they decided to interview me, but I just rolled along with it. I will link those 2 articles in the description below. Alright, we have reached the end of this video, and like I said in the beginning, a lot of stuff has happened since I first filmed this video. My answers in this video were from a long time ago when I was more naive and optimistic and hopeful and simple-minded, but now shit has changed. I think as my channel has grown bigger, I feel like it's easier to dehumanize someone when they have a larger platform and you don't really see them as a person anymore. I realized that because of certain things that have happened or certain things that I have observed, and it's very weird for me because, you know, I just joined this platform as some depressed girl who wanted to talk about books. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of do like a rambly discussion video about some of the things that I have been thinking lately. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to unsubscribe from this channel, and goodbye.
Why you gotta be like that? Why